Oof. This is a gravel bike. This is actually the second gravel bike I've built. This one is based on a Schwinn Circuit, which is a Target hybrid. Now that I've been in it a while, I want to convert it to a drop bar bike. So one of the things I did was replace the fork. The original one was just crazy heavy steel. The one I found that had just about the right rake and about the right clearance for these 35mm tires came off of a Specialized. I'm thinking maybe a Sector or a Cirrus. And it fits and it looks really good. The only problem is I've got this massive gap where the lower race goes into the headset. And the reason is this bike's got a built-in race part of the fork, and then it's got a second race, and I'll pull the fork apart and show you what this looks like. But it's got a second race, which I thought at first was maybe for 1.5 inch headset bearing, but it's not, the angles aren't right. So I'm assuming whatever bike this came off had an integrated headset, and this fork set further up. Maybe that lower race carried a seal or something like that. What I want to try and do is make my own lower headset race, something that perhaps will let the bearing set a little higher, or maybe just that is extra thick down here to kind of hide this gap. So I pulled the fork off the bike, and you can kind of see the reason for that gap. But you can see there's the built-in race, and then there's the second chamfer. Because that is there, when you add the bearing and the lower headset race, you can kind of see that gap. Now when I measured this out, this is kind of what I had from that existing headset cup. It fits inside a 44mm headset tube, and this one measured out to 4405. And then it's got an outside diameter of 50, which matches the outside diameter of the frame. On this one, it's 9mm from that lip to the top, and then this one's got another 2.5mm for that face where that chamfer is. What I think I can do is pretty much exactly the same thing, make it look exactly like this, but add additional material to the base. So that would be, so I'm thinking maybe 5mm here instead of the 2.5. And then once that's to shape, I can cut a chamfer on the inside to kind of match that second chamfer on the fork. So this is the stock I'm going to use. It is 2-inch tubing with heavy wall, so it's quarter wall, which gives it a 2-inch OD, a 2-inch OD and an 1.5 ID. I cut off a short piece in my chop saw, and what I think I can do is chuck this up in the lathe and turn it down. Geez, I'm gonna go blind. Alright, so yeah, that didn't fit. Goes right in. I'm gonna take this part, I'm gonna scrap it, I'm gonna chalk it up to lesson learned. I'm gonna make another one. Alright, so well that failed. I'm gonna start this time and go for number 2. But this time I'm gonna cut the inside first and get those dimensions all correct, and then I'm gonna cut the outside. Alright, so this is how the headset cup turned out. You can see I added that chamfer in there that the bearing rides on, as well as a chamfer to clear the secondary race on that fork. I took down a little bit of material on the side here to help this fit into the headset so it's driven in straight. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Now, I should be honest, I did have to make this a few times to get things to fit. This one here, I accidentally undersized it just a bit, so it didn't have a good solid press fit. But third time's a charm. So here you can kind of see the finished product. I'm going to go ahead now, install it on the fork, get it in the bike, and we'll see how that looks. Check that out. The gap is good. It looks like maybe 1 millimeter. The fork moves freely. I think that looks way better than what I had before. Alright guys, that turned out way better than I thought it could. I really enjoyed making this thing, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, leave me a comment, let me know. Of course, if you didn't, leave me a comment for that too. So great, thanks for watching.